Okay, Lise, I'm going to give you a little video to work with so that you can kind of work through it and do it at your pace, that whatever feels good, okay? So I just wanted to start with some breath work. I'll give you 2 different breaths to work with, and these are just meant for relaxation and stress relief mainly. Excuse Ivy. So the first one is the typical yoga breath. It's called Ujjayi breathing or Victorious breath sometimes. And it's just done by making sound in the back of your throat when you breathe. So, and the sound itself helps you to connect with your breath. This is the one that's done through a lot of yoga poses. When you're holding, you're using this kind of breath and stuff. So it's just done by a little bit of a closing in the back of your throat, which you do by just drawing your tongue back a little bit. And you just inhale and exhale normal, but just with this making this sound. Ivy's gonna drive me through this. So you just kind of, I'm gonna do it with my mouth open, so hopefully you can hear it. And then, but it's usually done with the mouth closed for the nose. So think about kind of an ocean sound or a Darth Vader sound, something like that. So we're just gonna take an inhale and exhale. And you can do it with a longer exhalation than inhalation, which is just a signal to your brain that everything is okay right now. So with the mouth closed, of course, you won't probably hear the sound, but just do this for several breaths. You can close the eyes if that's better. Take an inhale. Exhale. But make it the pace that feels right for you. Try to relax through the shoulders and be really tall in the spine. So you always want to sit tall when you're doing breath work. Do 2 more just like that. And then the next breath is just called alternate nostril breathing or Anuloma Viloma. And for this one, you're just gonna, traditionally in yoga, you turn down your first 2 fingers and leave the others open. But if that's not comfortable, just use, however it feels right to you. This is just a mudra that we use in yoga. This one, you're gonna close off your right nostril first. And as you close it off, you're gonna inhale. And then you're going to exhale through the other side. So you're going to close off the other nostril and exhale. And then you're going to inhale on the same side that you just exhaled. And then close the other nostril and exhale opposite side. Inhale, same side. Exhale, opposite. Inhale, exhale, switch over. Inhale, same side. Switch and exhale. Same side, inhale. Switch and exhale. Inhale. Switch and exhale. And then you can release your hands. If you want to do that longer, of course, you can always do it longer. The progression of that is to hold the breath in between, and maybe I'll do another video later when when you're feeling a little better, and you can take a different ways of doing these things. Okay, so we're going to get into the core, and so I'm going to just lay on my back. I was just sitting up on something, by the way, because it feels better on my hips, my achy old hips. So now coming onto the back, I'm just going to teach you how to set up for core first. So I just have my feet so that they're about sitting bone distance apart. So sitting bones are about in the mid part of your glutes. You can, I can reach and touch my heels. If you can, that's great, if you can touch your heels, but if they need to be out further, that's totally all right. The main thing, I just gotta move my hair clip here, is that you're gonna bring your head down to the floor, and you're gonna take the heels of your hands. I'm just gonna take my my shirt up a little. Take the heels of your hands and put them on the part of your pelvic bones that stick out, right about here. And then take your fingertips on an angle down so that they're sitting on your pubic bone. So you have a little triangle here. But what you're trying to do, sorry, you just have to get this for the girl. What you're trying to do is imagine that you have a carpenter's level on your hands here, and that you're moving by pointing your tailbone up and down so that that carpenter's level is, carpenter's level is even, right? So that it's straight across. So if I were too far up, my hands would angle up. If I was too far down, my hands would angle down. But you want it to be perfectly level. So that probably means that there's just a little gap under your back, and that gap is totally appropriate. It's supposed to be there. So those days of push your belly button all the way to the floor are gone. And this is the new and improved, I guess, way of setting your belly so that you're holding your core tight. Once you get there, you're gonna have to tighten your muscles. Imagine that, you know, you've got a cannonball about to land on your belly and you have to brace for it. And also at the same time you have to pee. So you gotta hold in up at your pelvic floor, brace through the belly, and everything stays tight. This is hard to do on its own sometimes, so just, you know, kind of focus on holding that for several seconds and then releasing it, and just let your pelvic go up and down a little bit. You can rock it. And then hold again and brace. You can check that level again to make sure you've got it, and brace there. Hold for several seconds again, and then release it, and you can move around again. I like to move around just because I have so much back pain, and it feels good to also move it at the same time. So hold again, you're bracing, you've got that little bit of space. It's only a tiny space, by the way. Like, you could slip a piece of paper under there. It's not big, it's not like a big arch under your back, right? And release it, and then do that again. Holding and bracing. As you're bracing, of course, you can't breathe as you do in yoga. This is more of a Pilates move. So what you're doing is thinking about your rib cage moving in and out to breathe. That takes a lot of practice to do that. I'll tell you that right now. But if you're breathing like full into your belly and thinking about that big yoga breath which comes out of the belly, you can't hold at the same time. So that's why in Pilates you breathe differently. So you're releasing again. Do that one more time. Bracing through the abdominals. Remember that cannonball coming and landing. You have to pee at the same time. You're pulling up your pelvic floor, bracing, and release it again. That may be enough for you right now, to just practice that repeatedly until you have that, you know, that core engagement really working. If you want to go further though, and if your legs are feeling okay, you're going to hold that now. Just hold that brace in the abdominals. And then we're going to lift one leg up so that it's at a 90-degree angle. Hold the core strength. And then think about just pushing that leg slightly out so that the core has to work a little bit harder. Breathing still. And then release that leg down to the floor. Take the other one up. Remember the core engagement. That level is still there. Bracing the abs. And release it. Just do it again. Come up and holding that brace. And release. And again. Breathing through those rib cages if possible. Clearly used to teaching a group, aren't I? I just said through those rib cages. And let it go. Okay, we're gonna take a moment here and just breathe. Just let your belly be okay. And then we're gonna take that left foot up again. This time we're gonna leave it up here. And we're gonna see if the right leg can come up and join it. If that feels really hard right now, then you skip this, okay? But if it feels okay, you're gonna hold two legs up. You've got that core engagement still, thinking about all the muscles in along the abdominals, through the back, pulling up at the pelvic floor. This is gonna engage really internal muscles that are along your spine. These are multifidus muscles, and another one, transverse abs. Holding and breathing, and then release only your left leg and hold the right leg for a moment, and then that leg comes down. Okay, we're gonna start that this time with the right leg up. Brace abs first, right leg goes up, and then the other one comes up to join it. Breathing. Two more breaths, and this time release your left leg down and your right leg down. Let's do that two more times. So taking your left leg up, you're being bombarded by toys, and bring your right leg up. Remember that core engagement. Notice what your back wants to do right here. If your back is wanting to arch, we're going to prevent it and pull down a little harder. If necessary, you could bring your legs in a little bit more too, or you go back to the first one we did with just one leg at a time. Now drop your left leg and your right leg. Take that moment. If you need movement here, take movement. And then the right leg goes up. Left leg goes up. Holding and breathing. This can be made harder whenever you need to by just taking the legs out slightly further so they're not at 90 degrees at the hip. They're just a little bit on an angle. Okay? Take breathing. And left leg goes down and right leg goes down. And then stretch out your legs long. You can take your hands up too if you like and just give your stomach a stretch out there. Big breaths. And I'm going to turn over onto the side. So this is a different type of core work. I'm just going to let my head rest on my shoulder. You can see my knees are bent. My knees are bent in a way that I have to come forward just a little bit on my hip because I have a lot of pain right in my hip joint. So I come forward a little bit. If you can stay stacked, that's better, but if that's not working for you, just do what I'm doing. Now I'm going to just expose under here, and I want you to see right under here, I'm pulling up right under. So we call this a mouse hole sometimes. So you're thinking about making this little mouse hole where you're pulling the abdominals up off the floor, pulling your oblique abs up off the floor, and just holding in that position and breathing. And then you can just turn slightly forward and let that rest. And then come on back into it, bring it up, not letting the collapse. So you see my hip comes up when my side goes down. We're coming into a nice straight spine, lifting up, thinking about that mouse hole underneath, and breathing at the same time. One more breath. And then we're going to come forward again and let that go. I'm going to use my right hand to pick up and turn over onto the other side. You can just turn around if you want to. So once you're over on the other side, we're just repeating that. I just did 2, so if you want more, do more by all means. Okay, there we go again. We're clicking up, so making that little mouse hole again, just in case you see it more on this side. I'll lift my shirt again, lifting up and breathing. thinking about that Pilates breath. So we're trying to expand through the rib cage as we breathe. You can still be using that Ujjayi breath that we were talking about earlier, making that sound. You're just coming out of the rib cage now instead of there. And then let that go and just turn forward a little bit to let yourself rest. And one more time, coming up and picking up. So the next way to do this, when you feel ready, is to come up on the forearm more this way. And again, think about picking up and holding like this. So that's 90 degrees on the shoulder, 90 degrees at the elbow, not letting yourself sway in, but lifting up. You could even lift the other arm up if you want to. That's the second kind of way to go into this. Third way is a side plank on the knees and then on from there, but we can do another video when you're ready. Okay? And you release that. Again, you can use your left hand. I can't right now. I just want to show you that one so that you have it as an option. Move over, bud. Move over. Go on. And then I just want you to show you two more things for this first time. This is a Sphinx pose. So right now, Ivy's butt's in the way, but what you're seeing is that my elbows are at 90 degrees again. My shoulders are over the elbow. I'm letting my stomach engage here so that my belly is a little bit off the floor. Because I have back pain, I let my elbows come out to the sides and my toes point in, which I know you can't see, but that's how my feet are right now. And that's just to save my back a little bit in any kind of back bends that I do. If I were with a healthy back, I would pull my heels in and face them up to the ceiling. So this is Sphinx pose. It's just gonna, first off, gonna work your abs just a little bit more. That's not as much work as the previous ones. And then we're gonna just come down and make a little pillow with the hands and rest one side of your face on the pillow. Let your toes come together and heels out, and just take a moment. Oh, she's got her duck now. And then come back up into that. This, of course, could turn into a cobra pose on the hands. I can't do a cobra pose right now, but you know, if this one is totally appropriate for now anyway, okay? So nice deep breaths. You can bring the head back further if you want that bigger opening across the belly. Remember that you're bracing your abs again, so your belly is coming off the floor a little bit through that. That's helping to keep the spine more aligned, keep strength in there without collapsing. And then we let it go. Okay, make that little pillow with the hands again, turn the other side of the face down. And then I'm going to show you just a couple of things to stretch out your legs when you're ready for it. I don't know if you are yet. So in this one, what you're going to do is take your palm across. So my forearm is across, so it's kind of parallel to the top edge of my mat. I'm going to scooch up a little bit so you can see the rest of me. And I'm going to just take my left foot in and hold it with my left hand. But this could be done with a tie or a strap as well. You can come all the way down so that your head is on your forearm and just think about stretching that way. When you're in this stretch, you're thinking about pushing your foot into your hand, but letting your hand win. Couple more breaths. And then release that. And then you can take it to the other side. So this time the forearm parallels the front edge of the mat. I'm taking my head all the way down, drawing the foot in. If you were using a strap or a tie or something, you would just hook it around your foot And you want to feel that in the thighs, in the front of the thighs, of course. Nice breathing, and then release that. And finally, I just wanted to show you a child's pose. I'm just walking in, I'm widening out of my hips and dropping into child's pose. So you can see my hips are in a bit of, or my thighs, I should say, are in a bit of a V position. Hands can come out front and let your hips settle. I know you have knee issues, so if this doesn't feel good on the knees, what you do is come into puppy pose instead. So I just backed my knees up a little bit, extend the arms out, and leave your hips high. And then you just breathe with that. Another breath. And then you can bring the hands in and lift up again. And come over one more time on the back, and I'll just show you one hip stretch that's nice too. You probably know this one. This is a figure 4. I'm just coming down, taking the right ankle over my left knee, drawing in. This can be done a couple of ways. The yoga way is to clasp hands behind that thigh and pull in this way. The Pilates way is actually to take your arms around your top knee and draw in that way. I prefer the Pilates way just because it's a deeper stretch for me in my glutes where I want it. But if you like the other one, do that one. Couple more breaths here. And then release that and switch to the other one. Try in again, either version. And then release. And then you're just going to extend your legs out long on the mat. You're going to widen your feet. If you're not on a mat, that's cool. Just widen your feet out. I'm just used to saying that. Palms are going to face up toward the ceiling and be about 45 degrees away from your body. If this doesn't feel comfortable, then you bend your knees, take the feet out wide, and drop the knees together. Okay, so if that feels better on your back, you do this. And I want you to just take some breaths. And then I'll just close with a short little body scan, and that will be all for today. So I want you to bring your attention into your feet and mentally tell yourself, I am relaxing my feet. My feet are relaxed. I am relaxing my calves. My calves are relaxed. I am relaxing my knees. My knees are relaxed. Keep using those two phrases as I give you each body part. Thighs, I am relaxing my thighs. My thighs are relaxed. Hips, I'm relaxing my hips. Hips are relaxed. Lower back. Upper back. Shoulders. Upper arms. Forearms. stomach. Rib cage. Chest. Head. Brain. My entire body is relaxed. You might take a little scan of the body and see what areas haven't relaxed yet, and then do that same mental suggestion that they do. And then you can stay in this position as long as you like. Okay, Lise, talk soon.